Coming to you live from the RMIT studios in the heart of Melbourne, the city that thinks environmental ministers make good rock and rollers, if only it worked in reverse. It's Studio A with Dave Thornton. On tonight's show, creator of SBS Music Rock Quiz, Brian Nankervis, comedian Jody J. Hill, and comedy from Troy Kinney, and music by Mitch Walt, and regular guests, of course, Jess Harris and Fox Klein. But ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome the star of the show of Studio A, Mr. Dave Thornton.
Thank you. Wolf whistle, appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks very much, guys. Welcome to Studio A down here on a Monday night. Do you like the pink?
Yeah.
One guy wooed. It's unsettling. I'm wearing the pink for the new Melbourne Fashion Week because it's obviously on this week. You guys, oh, thanks, Dad's here. One guy whistled, yeah. It's I got it here for Fashion Week because FYI to the people out there at the Melbourne Fashion Week, I'd love to just walk the catwalk with a little bit of this on because I love just the post-walk interview. You know, when they talk to the girls and kind of say, oh, that's quite nice. Who are you dressed by? I'd love it. I'd just stand there. This Salvation Boutique and socks from old roommate and underwear miscellaneous from Demise. You may know it as Dimmies. But now, hopefully you guys aren't too disturbed after Sunday when you saw the front of the Herald Sun. There was a nude photo of Pauline Hanson. Did anyone see that? Yeah, don't clap that. That's enough to put off your mocha latte, isn't it? I was just sort of, oh, what? I don't want to, I don't want to be a parody of you, Pauline, but I didn't like it. No. It's because the elections, the Queensland elections are coming up. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. The state elections are coming up and she's running for it, so I think she's an independent. Now, because of those photos, I think a lot of people who saw it said it ruined her chances of becoming elect. And I know a lot of the guys who saw it, it also ruined their chances of ever being erect. So, it was just kind of interesting, yeah. Erection joke 3 minutes in. Bang! Just putting the bar up high. But, now, that was a double entendre I didn't even mean, but, oh, matron. But, now I'm going to clean it up a bit. Did anyone go to Sound Relief by any chance?
Yeah!
I thought as much. Most people that hang around Channel 31 shows, none of us could probably afford the $80 to go and see it. But so I was down there. It looked like a really great evening. I know a lot of my friends went. There was Midnight Oil, obviously Hunters and Collectors and Johnny. I think a couple of the others, a couple of Finn brothers and things, they were all down there. But did rain. Rained the whole day, which is kind of weird. Have you noticed that now in Victoria, we're supposed to be in drought, but yet every time there's a music festival on, it starts raining. This is Meredith Music Festival. There was like unseasoned rain. I think there was a bit of rain at Big Day Out, is that right? And a bit of Good Vibrations. Now there's that one. That is it. I am putting a music festival on in every water catchment in Victoria. Yeah, there goes the drought, all right? Like, I'll admit, all those electrical leads just coming out of the guitars and things probably aren't too good around water. But I am not afraid to lose a Veronica if it gets our farmers back in the game. All right. There you go. Now, I was going to talk about this the other week, but did anyone here get a little bit weirded out? This is only a few weeks ago when you got the text from the Victorian Police.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out just telling us about the weather, which is nice. But I wish I could just send it out every day. 28 and fine. Oh, thanks, police. But I don't know about you guys, because I didn't know it was coming. And, you know, I got the beep on my phone, and you kind of go, oh, don't recognise that number. And the first line is, this is the Victorian Police. My brain was just stewing over, you know, all the misdemeanours I've ever done, you know. I was just thinking of all the excuses I can use, like, oh, I didn't know that the car engine had its serial numbers scraped off. I thought that guy looked legitimate selling the DVD players out the back of the truck. I swear she was overage. You know, like all these things. The bar's lowered. And it's, the weird thing was, you know what happened to me? I was driving along. I was driving along, I got a text, I looked at it, and then I actually got pulled over. The cop comes to my car and he goes, were you texting while you were driving? I was like, what? You started this thing. But guys, looks like we're going to have an awesome show tonight. We've got Brian Nankervis, who you may know from Rockwiz. We've also got the wonderfully funny Jodie J. Hill going to be talking about her comedy festival show, and the hilarious and spunky Troy Kinney. And we've also got music from Mitt Walt. And now, if you'll please give a massive studio A welcome to the band. Welcome back. Now, they're a hard-working guys, those band. But now, as I was talking about before, obviously with the Victorian Police, they now have the capability to use SMS messages whenever they like. And us down at Studio A, we obviously work hard to give you guys the truth. So we got our hands on some of the proposed texts they'll be sending out to the garden state we live in to make Joe Average feel that a little bit safer. Now, we've got number one. This is the first warning. Oh, do you like the phone? How good is that? I feel like Lavinia Nixon. Underbelly, this is a warning for you people out here in Victoria. Underbelly is on tonight. So if you're planning on watching, get ready for a plot to get in the way of a good strip show. You guys didn't laugh at that because you don't watch it, is that right? You watch this show. Good answer. Now, the second warning, Connex is now sending you a message when something goes wrong with the trams. So warning to you guys, if you have a limit of 500 texts or less in your inbox, please prepare to clear it out daily. And it's also from Connex, so expect it to arrive late. Now, the third warning, Persian rugs are actually selling for full price this week. Fourth warning, imagine if you're the dimwit that bought a full price rug and everyone goes, they're like always 80% off. You're an idiot. Warning, the Melbourne Zoo is actually shutting down for refurbishment. So if people do want to see primitive animals in their natural habitat, King Street is offering tours from 1 till 3 a.m. on Saturday nights, so personal liability insurance is a must. Now, warning, we are still looking for the men who let the dogs out, so any tips, please contact the Victorian Government. Old reference, give me a break. The Victorian Police are also going to send out reminders of occasions kind of like Valentine's Day. So don't do most of the blokes what you did last year and give your girlfriend a copy of Woman's Day that you stole from the dentist, even if it did come with a perfume sampler, all right? Seventh warning, water restrictions are hitting record levels, so Victorians, please, please stop feeding it to koalas. I wasn't happy with that one either. The Victorian Police have also got this one in a crisis. They'll be sending out a text to notify you that the world is about to end in... Oh, some text missing. And the last warning is Channel 31 will finally be on the digital signal, so be prepared to actually see clearly what some of the Studio A cast really look like. So there you go, guys. You've been warned. Now it's time to go for a break. But don't move from that couch, because we'll be right back with Brian Nankervis. See you soon. Guys, welcome back. Thanks for watching the show, or at least flicking over from Underbelly when there aren't any Rubits on. Next up, please welcome the bread that breaks up the sausage fest that is Studio A, the lovely Jess Harris.
That's how I like to be known.
Isn't it just? We're quite colour coordinated.
We are a little bit. Matching couple.
Pastels.
Cute.
It's cute on you. I'm going to cop a lot of flack for this shirt, I think.
Really?
Yeah, but it's not like I can go, oh, blame wardrobe. It's just my clothes.
Oh, this is the third time I've seen it on the show, though, I think.
I've only got 2 shirts.
Yeah, it's on the rotation.
Yeah, there's this one, and there's one that I just constantly dye different colours.
Yeah.
That's
no.
it.
I love the Salmon Shirt Week. You always do good shows.
Thank you.
No.
With compliments like that, we should go ahead with the segment.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jess Harris with her week ahead.
Wow. That's right. It's the heads up on the coming week. I am predicting, forecasting, pondering, giving you advice, helpful hints on how to plan your week. So we're looking forward now, predicting from the 17th to the 23rd of March. First of all, in Hollywood gossip. On Thursday, at the opening of an edgy new play off Broadway, Suri Cruz will get paint thrown all over her by animal activists after stepping out head to toe in real fur. Tom Cat were not present and they will not comment on their daughter's choice to wear fur. While Deborah Messing and William Shatner will unknowingly pass each other on the street. And in news, Friday is Harmony Day. It's promoting respect and fairness and a sense of belonging for everyone. But unfortunately, several city-bound trains will break down, causing strangers to be stuck in a confined space together. Several travellers will end up in verbal and physical fights. Onlookers will not intervene. They will just film it on their phones and upload it onto YouTube. It will receive a 3.5-star rating before they even leave the train. Next week's warnings. Be careful when spinning Lazy Susans. There will be at least 5 cases of overzealous pushes leading to minor injuries. So be careful. In the world of fashion, fads and trends for the guys, chipped teeth and gaps are hot this week. Also seeing a resurge of the bowl haircut. And for girls, innocence is back with the release of designer chastity belts. It comes complete with a matching key necklace, which you can hand over to the man of your choice when the time is just right. And in travel, with flights to Bali dropping even lower next week, some travel tips from me to you. No matter how pretty your face is, it's never okay to get your hair braided in Bali. It's time someone told you. Okay, and next week's handy tip. If your cat gives birth to a litter of kittens, give them away as presents. It makes you look really generous, kids love you, and it voids you of all responsibility of these unvaccinated little bastard babies. Looking at health, sending food back is definitely bad for your health. It has been spat on by an angry chef. And next week, in numbers, 6 babies will go home with the wrong mum in a hospital mix-up. 28 people will cry after a trip to the hairdressers. And an alarming 4,650 guys will impersonate David Brent during awkward moments while picking up. And in Word Watch, the most used word next week will be medication, and the least used word will be bunyip. And finishing off, just looking at our 7-day emotional forecast, it's looking to be mostly upbeat throughout the week, peaking on Saturday with a very hot attention-seeking sun beaming down on us. This will cause people to talk loudly and randomly break into song in a quest for the spotlight. So be careful not to act like an ADD kid in the heat of the sun this weekend. Dave, that is the week ahead.
Nice. Very nice, very good.
Get it all down?
Yeah, I'm writing, I squiggle these things down. You know the bit that I found disturbing though was
What?
the combination that bowl cuts are coming back,
Yeah.
but girls will be giving the keys out to their chastity belt. No girl's going to give a key out to a guy with a bowl cut.
No, but it's back, so they will be.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a bowl cut through high school with an undercut.
Oh, wow.
Ladies.
Watch out.
Oh, it was terrible.
Well, lose the undercut, but yeah, put the bowl on, trim,
And just part down the middle.
done.
Oh,
Easy
bum
as.
part, awesome.
Yeah.
Jess Harris, everybody. That was the weekend. Great work, Jess.
Thank you.
Our next guest has been a regular face on Australian TV for the last 20 years. You may know him from his first appearances on Hey Hey It's Saturday, or more recently, keeping the score on the show that he created, SBS Rock Wiz. Guys, please welcome Brian Nankervis. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
This is gorgeous.
It's nice, isn't it?
I was here. Do you know Tony Biggs from 3RRR?
No, I don't.
Anyone know Tony? Been thrown out of a lot of radio stations around Australia, and he used to do a show called At the Bar with Tony, and invariably the show would start without him.
Oh, really?
So anyway, it's exciting.
So the
to be
bar
back.
won.
The
Really?
bar won.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, mate, when I heard you were coming on, I was really happy because you did warm-up on the show that I first ever did stand-up on telly.
Oh.
Do
Which
you
show
remember
was that? Should I move back slightly?
I first ever did stand-up on telly on Bert's Good Morning Australia.
I do remember you.
Yeah.
You were handsome and you wore a pink shirt. And a bowl. Did you have a bowl cut? I think you
And a
might
chastity
have.
belt. And it was... no, but I was there, and you actually did the warm-up. It was like, I remember it was 9 o'clock in the morning,
Yes,
And
on a Friday morning.
and it was a small studio.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, and you must have thought I had something physically wrong with me. I was just there going like this. But you warmed up the crowd really well.
Well,
it was great.
it was a treat, you know, working for Bert.
Yeah.
It was an absolute dream come true. And he would schmooze those studio audiences. And invariably, you know, you would get the regulars who would come back day after day, week after week, who would ignore me because they'd heard my spiel, but they just adored Bert. And how did you go?
I got a text from a mate later on. He said, look, it may have felt like you were going all right, but Bert was in the background pulling faces. So that's where the laughs came from. So, and when he said pulling faces, he actually said penis tricks. But still, I thought I'd clean it up for being live on air. But I wasn't happy with it either. But,
Well, I hope I contributed a little bit to what you did.
Because you've been doing a bit of warm-up.
Yeah.
You were doing warm-up.
Well, I started doing warm-ups with Jim Owen. I was part of the ensemble with Bob Franklin and Glenn Robbins and other assorted types for Jim Owen. And the classic story, 1 week, you know, the warm-up guy was sick. Can anyone do it? Brian, would you like to do it? And I loved it. That was about 94.
Yeah.
And ended up doing it for, you know, the panel and Lano and Woodley and Sean McAuliffe and Thank God You're Here. It's a sort of weird one.
Yeah.
As someone said, it's like you organise and indeed take part in the foreplay and you hand over the orgasm. Now, when you're handing over the orgasm for Bert or for Lano and Woodley or Thank God You're Here, that's fine. But when you're handing it over for, I won't say, but, you know, a certain other, it can be slightly, it can be really humiliating.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a shocking show and the whole point of you is to convince this audience that what they're about to see is hysterically funny. And, you know, there was a show out at Channel 10 I did where people were leaving in the ad break and just, you know, there'd be like 5 people left and I'd stop them and say, no, you can't go. And they'd say, but the show is shit out.
Wow. 5 people left. We usually max out at 5. So,
But this is beautiful. This is
good, isn't it?
Yeah.
The top rafters are nice. Can you see them up there? That's nice. All the people back there.
Oh,
Peaks
yeah.
out at 40,000. But, mate, but now you're on Rock Quiz.
Well, yes, Rock Quiz is happening on SBS,
Yep.
and we call it the little show that could. We started, I think, 5 years ago, and I think we're up to about episode 92.
Really?
It's good. Yeah, it's wonderful. And SBS are great. I mean, a bit like here, you get an enormous amount of freedom, which is fantastic.
And it's, you were talking previously about, what was his name on Triple R?
Tony Biggs.
Tony Biggs in the bar.
Yes.
Now you shoot at the Espy
We do.
with musos.
Yes, that's
Are you
right.
picking guys up off the floor and going, seriously, champ, have some Red Bulls and get to the final?
Well, it is. It's you know, they tend to get very excited, and it's a midweek, and they don't pay, so they've got a little bit of cash jingling in the pocket.
Yeah.
So they hit the bar. No, it's not too bad. I mean, our trouble is heat because we get so many in there, and
Yeah, of
because we
course.
get lots of light, so people who faint in the middle of the show can be awkward. You know, grabbing people's tongue, vomiting. No, not a lot of that. Not a lot of that. But there has been a couple of faintings.
Really?
Yeah. And from my position at the back, you know, I'm sort of keeping the score, and Julia's down the front, and occasionally I just see people just go. That's why we keep it crowded, so they've got nowhere to fall. It's good. No. Look, it's great.
They're swallowing their tongue and they're still upright?
That's
Leave
right.
it.
That's fine.
That's totally fine. Now, and you guys also did Rock Whiz at the Bowl.
At the Bowl.
City Musical for the 50th.
For the Bowl has been having shows for 50 years, and we were invited to do a big show there. Have you seen a show at the Bowl?
I didn't see the show, but
Never.
I saw this is the DVD.
That's right.
That salutes the Bowl.
That will be out soon.
That's the one.
Enough. Can you get a big close up on that?
That'll be out soon enough.
Yes. Yeah. No, look, it was good. We had
You got Paul Kelly.
Kelly, and we had Nick
Chester.
Sester. Call him Sester, not Chester.
We got Ross Wilson, who was on here, I believe. He was on here as well. We've got, there's heaps of them.
Yeah, Adelita. It was great. And we had Judith Durham.
Yep.
Yes. I don't know. Does Judith mean a lot to you?
Judith, Seekers?
Yes.
Well, I told you, I grew up in Geelong. Seekers are massive. We, my dad was in a band, and so they all played Seekers. And stuff.
Who was it? What was it? Not Tony.
No.
Because there is a Tony Thornton.
Is there?
Who used to play with Paul Kelly. Yeah, drummer.
Oh, really?
Who was your dad? Or who is your dad?
Peter Thornton. He played in the Peter Thornton and the Teen Beats in the early... that's not funny.
I don't know what... Can we throw that person out for laughing at Peter Thornton? And is Peter listening? Where are you,
That could actually be my mum just going... But, and then also later on, Peter Thornton and the Levi's.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
So he was the lead singer in a band.
The Levi's.
I think me and my brother came along and that just quashed that.
Right.
down.
And
Yeah.
does he still get up and jam occasionally?
No, he doesn't much anymore, no. But
Right.
But yeah, so I grew up with the Seekers and things like that. So any interesting stories from that night?
Nothing that I could say, I would say. No, look, it was good. Getting the Seekers was very tough.
Yep.
We had to go through a whole lot of hoops. And Judith, we ended up getting Judith Durham, who was totally charming, but her manager wanted to know, how we were going to introduce her. And we said, well, look, we're not. She's so iconic. And if you think of the Bowl, you think of the Seekers. And he said, she's really worried that no one will know who she is.
Really?
Yeah, which was ridiculous. And she got a standing ovation.
My dad, because he always used to say it was the sheep's lament, I'll never find another you. Bang. That's a good joke, people. Mate, thank you so much. When's Rock Whiz on?
Well, it's on every Saturday night for the next 10 or 15 years. So please watch. And I will leave you with the Rock Whiz handshake. 3 movements, Dave.
Yep.
1, 2, and just a little wave.
Oh, very nice. Really, thanks again.
Thank you.
And we'll be back right after the Baker Studio regular. Fox Klein. Was it smoke? Was it?
1, 2, and the one.
There's some very good graphics. You guys don't have to applause. Welcome back to Studio A, and now we've got some words from our very own Studio A sponsors. Over to you, Oliver.
Thanks so much, Dave. Tonight's episode of Studio A is brought to you by Hip Operations. Not as groovy as the name suggests. Beer gardens. Don't take the name literally. You can't bury a bottle top and grow a 6-pack. And MySpace, the MC Hammer of online networking. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Oliver. An MC Hammer reference. Well, sports fans, he's back at it for another year, serving up the yuck yucks. Put your hands together for Studio A regular Fox Klein.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Fox.
Excellent.
Mate,
Proud.
good work. Mate, thanks for being here, because you just hit the tarmac. You over in Singapore.
This morning, my friend, I touched down. I got back from Singapore. You've been?
Yes.
It's very beautiful. Anyone who's been knows it's a lovely little town, and the safest in the world, lowest crime rate in the world in there.
Not when I was there.
No, hey. Gangster T.
In a pink shirt.
And I was gonna leave it alone. The irony is, last night, while I was still in the safest town in the world, my both mine and my dad's cars got broken into. Yeah, they were. Yeah, thanks. They were both. You did it. They were both in the driveway, and they stole my stereo and all of my CDs, and his stereo and none of his CDs, because he listens to shitty music. And they didn't take one. In fact, they burnt him some stuff. And no. But we're not here to talk about me or my gags, ladies. No. We went to. I'm here to talk about.
You know it because even though you've been to Singapore, that
Yeah.
wasn't just the funnest place you've been to
No,
recently.
it wasn't the funnest. Thank you for that segue, Thornton. That was beautiful.
Because you got to go down to Moomba.
I did go down to Moomba, and I went down to Moomba. I went down there with our wonderful, one of our producers, Miranda, and we went because, weirdly enough, everyone else was too busy that morning and didn't want to go down. So we went down there for the Birdman rally. Anyone go?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
One guy.
So he
man.
was the guy that was watching.
That is the Darwinian theory in all its glory.
Yeah.
Like, the stupidest people do not survive.
Yes, and everyone, and anyone who's been knows what it. Basically, essentially, it's just a bunch of people who get together who build contraptions and they jump from the tower, and whoever can go the furthest wins.
Yeah.
Prizes to the winner, of course. But the good thing is, no matter who wins, everybody gets dysentery. The river wins in the end. But yeah, so we went down with Miranda. Normally, it's not the. It's a very fun event. A lot of people turn out to see it. But this year we had a bit of a vested interest because we had two of our comedy peers who were involved.
True.
Mr. Scott
Pollard
and Mr. Danny
McGinley.
And I believe we have some footage of their jumps. So we will let's cut to that.
Roll them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the Moomba 2009 Birdman Rally right here on the beautiful Yarra River. Right behind me is the actual ramp that the competitors will be jumping from in their contraptions today to see if they can win. All right, guys, we are here at the Birdman Rally with Mr. Danny McGinley. How are you, sir?
Very good, Fox. How you going?
I'm very good. As you can see, he's ready for the jump. Is this it for the costume? Is there anything else to it?
Yeah, I've got to... No, this is pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
All right.
There's no aeronautics or anything like that. I'm just going to give it a running jump, a bit of go-go gadget copter.
Mr. Scott Pollard, how are you, sir?
I am doing excellently, Fox. Thank you.
Excellent. How are you feeling about the jump?
I am quietly confident. I have a Pteranodon.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my sad announcement to tell you that this is all that remains of Danny McGinley. They were unable to retrieve his body from the river behind me, which has now become his watery grave. So we will have to somehow mount this as a memorial to the wonderful comedian that is Mr. Danny McGinley, who sadly we'll never ever see again. Oh, he's here. All right, let's get an interview. Guys, we're here with Danny. He's obviously done his jump. He's wet. How you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, feeling pretty good, pretty good. I didn't fall to my death, and Yarra water tastes pretty good.
It was a very impressive jump. A couple of meters there, which is fantastic. The helmet I saw got a bit... Yeah?
Got a bit manky, but, it's not like I'm going to use it again, so that was all good.
Here we are with Mr. Scott Pollard, who has obviously made his jump. How are you feeling, sir?
I am excellent. I had the best fun in the world.
The best fun in the world. As you can tell, he's a little bit cold, but not miserable. He's very happy. He's made his jump. Are you going to come back next year?
Hell yes, I'm back here every year.
Do you know exactly how far you went? It was a decent effort there, I think.
I don't care.
He doesn't care, but he did a fantastic job, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go and watch the rest of the jumpers and see how they go. Mr. Scott Pollard, thank you very much. And we'll no doubt be back here next year.
Good work.
Yeah. Sorry.
What I found weird though is like one guy made like a full hang glider. Even Danny had the big propeller on his head.
Yep.
There was one guy who looked like he just had a poncho of fake grass.
That's all it was. He just went that and put it on and he jumped. But no one sort of really went any kind of distance this year. It was all just straight into the water, which is fun. But I have a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
This is a little challenge, and this is to witness in front of everybody here. If we are still around next year, Thornton has to jump in next year's Moomba Birdman Rally. All right. Deal. Shake on it. Shake on it.
All right, fine, whatever.
Witness. All right. Thornton will jump next to his Birdman rally.
Salmon clothes.
In his
In the salmon clothes. Wow, that camp guy really can jump. Thanks again for Fox, everybody. After the break, we'll be sitting down for a chat with Jody J. Hill, so don't go away. See you soon. Welcome back to Studio A, where people applaud spontaneously. Our next guest is a comedian and radio presenter. She even used to do a show right here in this very studio with Joe Stanley. Please welcome to talk about her latest venture, a museum, Jody J. Hill. How are you?
I'm well.
So the seats?
Thank you.
Wow, clipboard and everything.
Oh, yes.
So it's shoot.
Oh, well, it's actually not my clipboard. It's for the exhibition.
Oh, really?
Yes, I don't know, Dave. I haven't met him before, and he's cute, isn't he, girls? I wouldn't know whether to mother. I wouldn't know whether to mother him or seduce him. I'll put him on the nipple, see how it goes.
Wow. This has gone up a level.
Dave, the whole exhibition that I'm curating,
Yes.
Dave, is looking at the craft of comedy, looking at the history of comedy.
Yeah.
And we had a fantastic comedy producer and comedian called Dave Taranto.
Yeah.
And yes, so he had a clipboard that everyone would used to, applaud. Not him, but his clipboard. So I've got his clipboard, and that's going to be one of the artefacts in a museum. So that's my clipboard.
Now, is it fair? Because, I mean, literally stand-up comedy probably in this country 20 years is probably going on. Probably not much more than that.
No,
I mean, there's been Dills talking on soapboxes for a long time.
Yes,
But it's probably about 20 years ago that clubs started coming up.
Indeed.
And
indeed.
even in that short history, because we like to think Melbourne's the epicentre of comedy
It is.
in this country.
It is. It is.
The rest of the country doesn't have much of a sense of humour.
I'm from Adelaide, which is a bit of a joke of a town. So, but you're right. It's about 20 years old, and so is this picture. Now I don't know. You're probably more au fait with what camera is what.
I think we've got camera 3 here, might crack into it.
This is living history. Do you remember Greg Fleet?
I do. I saw Fleety on the weekend.
Yeah. You saw him down the street with hair.
No.
So this this is a photo of him 20 years ago with hair. There's Andy Goodwin, there's Pete Rosethorn, and the fantastic Anthony Morgan as well. So, I mean, these guys back in '87 were the kings.
Yeah.
You know, of theatre sports.
Well, I even know Fleet, this is his 21st year doing Adelaide Fringe right now.
Yeah.
So he's been around.
He should be dead, really, when you think about it. I love the guy, and he's actually a brilliant poet as well. So it's that, again, like what. Can I refer to what I've brought here?
Yeah.
I feel like I've done a school project for you.
Yeah, I know. There's a little bit like this, because we've got a little here, a Jody J. Hills hoist.
Yes, I like it. I like it.
And look at the wonderful barrel girl. Oh,
I know.
He's a fine piece of man meat, isn't he?
Oh, I know. That's just all velvet. I can't tell you. But Oliver's actually going to be in the exhibition as well. And what I've got here is the tools of the trade. Oliver, could you point to the microphone? Yes. The tools of the trade. You know, we just have a mic on stage, and that's what comedians have. Maybe a whoopee cushion, maybe a rubber chicken. I don't know what props do you have in your act these days?
I try to fill the room with laughing gas. That's the only way I can get by at this point in time.
So you drug, that's your prop drugs, okay? Yeah.
That's how I work.
And then we go on to the craft of comedy and look at, like, I don't know about you, but I've got like hundreds of notepads full of, ideas that I thought were fantastic and no one else did. How do you write your comedy?
I get a bit of like, I'm the same, put it on a writing pad or whatever's near me, and then a lot of my mates do the same. You're out and you're drinking, and you might say something that you think's like witty and brilliant.
Yeah.
And you go, give me a napkin.
Yeah, yes.
And you wake up in the morning and it says like, purple monkey Ramadan, and you go, what the hell? Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
And I'll write it on whatever's in front of me.
Yeah, so, well, this is what I'd like to put up. It's like that Seinfeld episode when he wrote his comedy on a napkin, couldn't find it, couldn't deliver the joke as well.
Yeah.
So it's that, that's how we, it is off the top of our head as well. But
totally.
You've got to write about, and you're going to, swear, that's always handy. But, but it's just like writing, you need to write about 7 jokes to get 3 good ones. So it's just showing that.
It is so true because people don't understand in stand-up comedy as much as like you might watch a show like this one, you know, brilliantly funny. But like in stand-up comedy, you can go. I mean, I suppose it depends how long you're on stage, but in that first 5 minutes, if you're going 2 minutes without a laugh, and that can happen in a show, that's fine.
Yes.
You know, but in stand-up comedy, the audience is like, get off.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that your jokes are bang, bang, and when you're trying the new ones out and they're not floating.
Yes.
Yeah,
back to the drawing board. Yeah.
Just turns into spoken word, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And that's the fine line between a hostage situation and a show, isn't it? Really. No offence to poets, but come on, get over yourselves. So what have we got next? And then look, also the part of being a comedian is multimedia. It's about promoting yourself. And do you know who I was? I used to be on Fox FM. Like I used to be invited to parties and stuff. But I used to be on Nova.
And we put the quotes all on our flyers and our posters, and they've been taken out of context.
Yeah.
When you guys see the ... that's when there's trouble. Because it could be like the greatest. Worst show I've ever seen.
Yes.
And the comic will go, the greatest ... show I've ever seen.
Indeed. But that's all
Donington
part of it.
Flyer.
Yeah, it's about, and also keeping good reviews next to your bedside and kissing them and, all your awards and your trophies. And I've got a few trophies from different comedians as well, which I'm going to put like in little cabinets. This is at Trades Hall. Yeah. So it's going to be like, I'm like a tour guide. Yeah. And I've got cabinets and I've got like a display and hopefully Oliver can just be my gimp and I'll just bring him out as well.
It can be it's kind of pulling the curtain from behind stand-up comedy, isn't it, really?
Well, and this is the final stages on the Hills Hoist. Thank you, Oliver. If you could just barrel boy. Ooh, I like it. Part of this exhibition is I want to portray comedians as the intellectuals that they are, the sensitive souls, the ones that we actually... it's not all about fart gags. Like I do a bit of painting, bit of charcoal, bit of paint. Tony Moclair, who's a writer for Triple M. He, bless his soul, but he spends a lot of time making model aeroplanes.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah. So there's the quirky sides. Geraldine Quinn, amazing cartoonist, amazing.
Really?
Like I didn't know she had that talent.
Yeah.
So
I do the hobby of dodging trams, like not paying for them. So that's my kind of, I'm a deep pool.
You're an artful dodger.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And where is this show going to be?
It's going to be at Trades Hall, April Fools till the end of the Comedy Festival, and it's free. So it's free at Trades. It's part of the Trades free at Trades program.
Yeah, so trade
it's free. It's just free. Come along and see some art.
Yeah, so come down and check it out at Trades Hall. It'll be really interesting, guys. If you want to know about stand-up comedy, what happens behind the curtain, Jodie J. Hill's going to tell you. So give a round of applause. Thank you so much, Jodie.
Great.
Thank you. So you can catch it down at Trades Hall. Check it out during the Comedy Festival, which happens all over April. Now, keeping on the comedy theme, our next guest has toured internationally doing stand-up comedy from New York to East Timor, where he wasn't shot, so he must be funny. And has dropped down here at Studio A to bring the ha-has. It's a great pleasure to introduce one of the true rising stars of Australian comedy, Troy Kinney.
Thank you. Thank you. Studio A, finally! They've let me inside the building. It's good. I feel good. I've stopped drinking. You know why? Because I hate going to work with a hangover. We've all been in this situation, haven't we? You know when you get to work and you're hungover and you get there and you just don't want to talk to anyone, want to try and stay half asleep on purpose, just do what you got to do, try not to get noticed, get back home, watch The Biggest Loser while you're eating a pizza, get to bed. It's like the day never even happened. Perfect plan. But then when you get to work, there's always that one wanker that won't stop talking to you, asking stupid question after stupid question. And if you're thinking to yourself right now, no, there's no one like that at my work, then that wanker is you, all right? So what you do, you just ignore everything this person says, but every now and then you'll ignore them. Go and do something else for a couple of seconds, turn back and they're still there, waiting for a response to their question. So you give an answer, even though you got no idea what the question was, just hoping they'll go away. You shouldn't do this. I lost my job because of this. I used to work as a landscape gardener, right? And I was using this brick saw one day, and when you were hungover, it was pretty hard to use. You got to tense up, grit your teeth, push this brick through this big saw. And while I was using it, this guy came up to me, said something, asked me something. I just said, look, mate, I couldn't tell you, right? You have to ask that bloke over there. Just palm him off to the other guys I work with, let him sort it out. Then all of a sudden, no one wanted to work with me. I stopped getting work. And I found out a week later what that guy had asked me while I was using this brick saw. He said, I bet you make that same face when you orgasm, don't you? I So I couldn't tell you, mate. You have to ask that bloke over there. I'll tell you one thing that's doing my head in as well, though, lately. I reckon most of you back me up here. My mum has just got a mobile phone. Why are they letting mums get mobile phones? Anyone else's mum got a mobile phone? You ever got a text message from your mum? Could you bloody understand it? I actually think she get charged $10 per word. My phone beeped yesterday. I thought I got a text from bloody Tarzan. We Nana's dinner. You come want. What the hell does that mean? I don't know whether to reply or buy a vowel and spin again. Have you ever been in the same room and your mum had to answer her mobile? It's like she's trying to defuse a bomb. Hello, hello. Oh, which button do I press? Which button do I press? The little one with the picture of the phone on it. There's two of them though, the red one or the green one. Red or green, there's so much time, it's still ringing. Run! She'll call you back. My mum and dad are very similar people, right? I've discovered only one main difference between them, and that's my mum. Thinks it's the worst thing in the world if a noise comes out of her body, and she'll do whatever it takes to keep the noise inside so she doesn't get embarrassed. But then it just ends up sounding like the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard anyway. Anyone else got a mum like this? I grew up at the movies once when I was little watching Star Wars. My mum had to sneeze and she held it in. For a second, all the kids in the cinema started screaming because we thought one of those little guys from the desert in the robes from the movie was in the cinema. It was like quiet all of a sudden, then all of a sudden you heard this. Have you sneezed once and held it in? It made that noise. Why would you hold in on the second one? But then have you heard your dad sneeze? When your dad used to sneeze, you could be inside, your dad's outside mowing the lawn, you still hear your dad sneeze. Go to call the cops because you think he's been stabbed. My dad will yawn. You ever heard your dad yawn? Sounds like he's throwing a javelin out of the MCG. Then my mum will yawn. My mum will yawn and keep her mouth shut the whole yawn. You ever seen your mum yawn like that? It's like a seagull swallowing a chip that's too big for it. My name's Troy Kinney, guys. Thank you, Studio A. Thank you.
Oh, cheers. Good work, mate. Thanks, Troy. Stick around after the break, because we'll be back with music from Mick Walt. See you soon. Nice colourful announcement. Welcome back. Now, for all those people out there in TV land, if you're in need of some glitz and Hollywood-style glamour and you think sitting in the audience of Channel 31 show will fix this, well, then you're sadly deluded. However, we do have a lot of fun down here. Have you guys been having fun? Nice. Yeah. I only paid them a small amount to say that. You can come down here and be part of the Action and Studio audience. Just email us at studioa@rmitv.org, all on the front there, and we'll see you here hopefully next week. Now, I'd just like to wrap up the show, and thanks to everyone who was here tonight. Brian Nankervis did a great job, so check out Rock Quiz on SBS. Jodie J. Hill, go see her exhibition at the Comedy Festival. Troy Kinney was here flaunting his man meat and being funny. And Fox Klein, of course, regular Jess Harris. They were down here. Give them a round of applause, guys. Our musical guest who'll be finishing off tonight is it's a band called Mick Walt. They're here tonight to perform their song Bear. Put your hands together for the fantastic Mick Walt.
Lives around the corner, couple of blocks, wears green boots and black socks, and what I'm trying to understand is what is it about this man? Why is it that I care? Maybe I like him just cause. I like him just cause he's a bear. Cause he's a bear. Cause he's a bear. Well, he's a bear. Oh, when I'm in the mood, I think of a time when he and I were in line. Oh, the bellyache under my coat get out there so he won't see me in the morning looking green from all his women in between. No, I don't like to share. No, I don't like to share. He's a bear. Well, he's a bear. He's a bear. Well, he's a bear. Oh. Well, and I know that I'm not right, and that most of it is just the fight. But my heart can't take the bruising of letting go, letting go. He's my very best friend. When we're watching a movie without a word, it's him and yours truly. I know he's asleep, but I wanna say it so. I like him just 'cause. I like him just 'cause.
Good work. That was great. Thanks so much. That was Mitch Walt. This has been Studio A. See you next week. Good night.